What if the stories you call myths are echoes of something real? What if the darkness is not empty, but watching? Tonight, we do not seek fear. We seek the truth hidden behind it. A group of university students gathered in an old cabin at midnight, deciding to conduct a spirit summoning session. It all started as a fun game. They sat around the table, lit the candles, and clasped hands to begin the ritual. One of them, Jack, had found an ancient ritual. As he recited the words, the air grew heavier. At first, nothing happened, but then the candle flames flickered and shadows seemed to dance around the room. Emily and Lucas shivered, but they continued. Then, a faint tapping sound came from outside the window. Everyone froze. Ethan moved toward the door, but no one was there. When he turned back, he saw the letters on the board moving on their own. "Leave!" No one moved. Mike laughed. "Are you trying to scare us?" But at that moment, a deep guttural whisper from beneath the table sent chills down their spines. "I'm not leaving!" Panic set in. Emily tried to blow out a candle, but it wouldn't go out. Suddenly, the room was filled with an icy chill. Lucas felt a cold hand on his shoulder, but when he turned, no one was there. He screamed and stumbled back. Suddenly, the windows cracked. The cabin door slammed open and a gust of wind blew through, snuffing out the candles. Everyone scrambled toward the exit, but then they heard a whisper that sent dread through their bones. "Now it's your turn." Just as they were about to escape, Ethan collapsed to the floor, clutching his head and screaming. His eyes turned completely black. "It's here! It won't let me go!" he shrieked. The others tried to help, but he was suddenly lifted into the air and thrown against the wall. At that moment, whispers filled every corner of the cabin. Shadows stretched across the walls as if unseen figures were moving. The wooden ceiling above them cracked, dust falling over their heads. The candles reignited on their own, but now burned in eerie shades of blue and green. The group screamed, desperately trying to flee, but the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. Emily pulled out a lighter and burned an old symbol on the wall. As the flames consumed it, the whispers turned into piercing screams, and the pressure in the room became unbearable. Suddenly, the windows shattered, and a thick black smoke filled the room. They shut their eyes as the echoes of tortured voices swirled around them. Then, silence. When they opened their eyes, the cabin was empty. Everything was in its place as if nothing had happened, but they remembered everything, every horrifying detail. Jack, Emily, Lucas, and the others described what they had seen, but outside, the world remained eerily normal. Then, a deep rumbling came from beneath the ground. The cabin shook violently, the ceiling collapsed, the walls cracked, and it felt like an earthquake was tearing everything apart. Within seconds, the cabin was engulfed in dust. When they opened their eyes again, everything was back to normal. The cabin stood untouched. The windows were unbroken, the candles sat neatly on the table, and there were no signs of destruction. But someone was sitting at the table. Their back was turned to them. Long dark hair cascaded down their shoulders. Emily whispered in fear, "Who is that?" The figure slowly turned their head, and in that moment they realized it was one of them. But their eyes were completely black. Jack's voice echoed through the room, yet his lips never moved. "His body is mine now." The group stumbled backward in terror. Jack's face twisted into an unnatural grin as he stood from the chair. A moment of silence filled the air before he suddenly moved with inhuman speed. He leaped through the window. The glass shattered, and with an unnatural force, he disappeared into the darkness. Emily, Lucas, and the others stood frozen. Jack's voice still echoed in their ears. "I am free now." The next day, the police arrived at the cabin. Everything seemed normal, but Jack was never seen again. He is still missing. Yet, on certain nights, those who approach the cabin swear they hear a whisper coming from inside. "You opened the door. Now it's your turn." In Joseph City, the paranormal never ends. There's always another shadow, another whisper, another story waiting to be told. Subscribe and take a step deeper into the unknown.